Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Oh, my shoulder really hurts, and when I went to the store, oh, my neck and back here were really hurting. It's been great that way. But the fan's on in the window. It's supposed to get into the 80s today, but hopefully not too bad. So I've got things propped open and fans going out in the hallway, and I'm obsessively pulling up my t-shirt. So past that, it's a normal day. Hopefully you two are having at least a morning or an afternoon or whenever you happen to be watching this. Thumbs up and thank you for watching. It is appreciated. Past that, just going to talk about a couple things, and some of them are semi-important and some of them are not. Like the thing that's not important I'm going to talk about is how I've been watching two people now play through the new DLC for the latest Five Nights at Freddy's game, Security Breach, with the DLC called Ruin. Now, I liked even though it was glitchy and buggy, I never played it, but I watched the people playing it. I liked the look of Security Breach. I didn't like the old FNAF stuff. I mean, the lore is happily interesting, but the actual gameplay stuff, not all that interested in. Security Breach, I was like, oh, I like this. And so that was good. Now, the DLC, they have really worked on that, and they have altered the way they do things. They've made it a very linear experience. They're really leaning into the horror aspect of it. It's good. It's good stuff. Markiplier's been playing it. Unique Geese has been playing it. Unique Geese is a fellow that took a week to learn how to program and made a quick game that was better than a game that the Euphoric Brothers did with their Garden of Banban. But he's been making it into his own game, Indigo Park. But he was playing through it, and he loves what they've done with Ruin. And it's great. I mean, it's disgusting in parts. It feels like there's rotting organic garbage everywhere, because you're walking through a part where there's rotting organic garbage everywhere. It looks horrific. It's good stuff, and I just wanted to mention that. Definitely a thumbs up. Also, checking on my list over there is I need to call up my social worker today, because yesterday I was very, very frustrated. I finally got hold of her and was able to talk to her, because I left a message and then I had to wait for her to call back. The people that were supposed to call me, that I told not to call me on my cell phone, have spent the second time calling me on the cell phone instead of on my landline, where they can leave a message where I can actually hear it. I have told them twice now, do not call me on my cell. I don't have a mailbox set up for it. If you leave a message, I'm not going to get it. And so twice they have gone, gosh, I'm not supposed to call this number. I better call this number. And they left messages that I don't get. So now today I've got to call them, and I was very aggressive because I was very frustrated with my social worker, and I need to call up and apologize for that, because yeah, it was, I'm going, how am I supposed to trust them? Which is worse, whether they were lying about trying to contact me, or if they were incompetent enough that they can't figure out that when I say don't call me on this number, they keep calling me on that number. How am I supposed to trust this? So I need to call up and apologize. I need to call up the veterans housing people. I'm not doing nothing as the 200-mile-an-hour freight train rushes toward me, the end of September. At the very most, there's that. At the very least, I've gotten to the end of this month, maybe next month, who knows. But I'm not just doing nothing. I am doing things, just not as much as I would like or really can do, because I went and walked up to Walmart and back, and by the time I got back, I could barely use this arm. If I overworked myself doing stuff back there, moving stuff up in my bedroom and moving stuff up in here, I could end up where this is all so bad, I'm bedridden again. I was bedridden for a month when this first happened. Ugh. So yeah, I gotta be careful. I've been going through throwing out stuff so that I can box the stuff up easier. I'm making phone calls that I gotta make and doing the best I can that way. It's slower than other people would do, you know, and I may seem like I'm just waiting for the end to happen, but while I do have all this stuff up here, I am working. Slower than I'd like, but at least it's moving. Which leads into, now there's a person in the comments who, I don't know if it's the same person before or after, or a different person or whatever. The first person had left comments that were critical, but they weren't exactly wrong, and they weren't abusive or demeaning or belittling. It was like, you need to get moving, you can't just sit there, this stuff's gotta happen. And it was ideas about what you have to do to get moving. It was critical, but it wasn't abusive. And so, yeah, it's still there because, well, they weren't wrong, they weren't exactly right, but it was close enough, and so, cool. There was a comment where obvious from the stuff that they had said in the comment, they didn't bother listening to everything that I was saying. It started off harsh and critical, but that's okay. As long as you are not abusive or such, that's fine. You can be critical. And it was harsh, but critical. But then it started to become demeaning, belittling, mocking, and at the end just outright was going abusive and just saying, you're just trying to scam your viewers out of thousands of dollars. And more, but that's the part that really irritated me on that one. But the general abusive, belittling, demeaning, no. So that comment went bye-bye. Now, if you, the person who wrote that, is watching now, and you didn't mean to be that way, you sure ended up that way, and so yeah, comment bye-bye. But, if you did mean to be that way, you know, why? So, the other stuff, though, about being critical and all that, that's fine, and I understand their irritation, but when you start calling me scamming, if I wanted to scam all of you people out of money, wouldn't I be saying, making videos about how I need cash? I have people on Twitter and stuff telling me, make videos about your GoFundMe so you can get help. I'm of the generation that doesn't like asking for help. How often I thank the people who are my patrons? How often do I say, please become a patron? I thank people for giving me money to my GoFundMe. How often do I say, please give me money to my GoFundMe? If I was trying to scam people, I'd be trying to scam people. As it is, I just don't want to lose everything. And I'm hoping that's not scamming. Now, the other thing, I understand this is irritating to me and to everybody involved on this one. Once again, the whole Comcast thing, when I mentioned that I've got to pay for Comcast so I can get the internet. And the person in the comment was saying, how much can that cost? Well, I've talked about this. Number one, it's not my Comcast account. I can't call Comcast and say, why is the bill this way? Because it's not my account. It's my housemate's account. I can't call up because I'm not them. I can't prove I'm them because I'm not. So it's not my account. And yeah, it's over $300 for the Comcast monthly. I've seen the bills. And my housemates have called Comcast and said, why? And never gotten a good answer other than time, fees, live with it. So it's crept up from, yeah, you can get fairly cheap packages, but it is a package. Landline, television, internet, unlimited internet, no caps. It started off, I think, under $200. Now it's over $300. So when you say, When I say I'm trying to pay for the Comcast to keep my internet going, because my housemates have stopped paying for the Comcast thing because they don't live here, they're not getting anything out of it, they can't afford it, they've stopped. I can't go without any sort of internet connection. So I have taken over paying for it. I don't use the television. I don't use like the phone stuff that you can get off that. I use the internet and the landline. I gotta pay for it or it's gone. And it's over $300. The money I've been getting from the GoFundMe, once they told me that they're not gonna pay for it, I've been using that to pay for the Comcast. I wish it was cheap, and whenever I get moving to wherever I happen to end up, if I have to pay for my own internet service, I am going for one of like the cheap Earthlink / CenturyLink DSL type things, where it's like 20, 30, maybe $50 to get just an always on DSL connection, and that's it. That's fine. That's all I need. I don't need this other stuff. So yeah, it'll be cheaper when and if I have to pay for it on my own, because a lot of places, apartments and such like that, apparently, I say apparently because I haven't lived there, this is what my therapist has said, a lot of places, they provide free internet. I don't know if I'd want to use open internet provided to everybody, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's just I wanted to talk about the whole situation where it was irritating, as well as just having abuse and belittlement and all that heaped upon me. And I keep trying to explain to people what goes on, and so that's it with the Comcast. And I'm calling up the Veterans Administration housing people. I'm continuing to go through and just throw out stuff that I don't need, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't need. So I'm not doing a lot, but neither am I just sitting in the highway like a deer in headlights. I'm moving, maybe not as fast as other people would want me to get out of the road, but I am moving, doing the best I can. And plus, when you're talking with somebody who is, let's try and use an analogy of my mental conditions and with my ADHD, my depression, where I am on the autism spectrum, my generalized anxieties. Let's say it's like the equivalent of being in a wheelchair because you don't have enough money for a prosthetic, but you have enough money for a chair, so you go around in a chair. Yelling at this person to just get up and walk isn't going to make them able to get up and walk. If a person needs some form of social support to be able to do some things, yelling at them isn't going to make them suddenly able to do things without social support. They still need the social support. They can't just get up out of the wheelchair and walk. You're missing a leg. It is the functional equivalent thereof. So yelling at someone like me because I'm not neurotypical isn't going to suddenly make me neurotypical. It's just going to force me into my neurodivergent shell to get away from you. So thumbs up. But let me check the rest of what we have here. This one is, I try not to become too political. I mean, I've talked about how I'm a leftist. I'm not especially like a Democrat, because the Democrats are far, far, far too close to the right for my liking. I am a leftist. I am a socialist, which I believe in this sort of thing, but I live in a capitalist society, so what can I do about that? But yeah, and the idea behind socialism, at least the big one that I ascribe to, is you can have rich people. You can be rich. There's nothing wrong with being rich. It's just that nobody should be poor. You use money to bring people up so they're not homeless, so they're not starving, so they're not dying of things that they shouldn't be. If you can take this person with this much money and bring them down to this much money while the rest of the people are here, that ain't gonna hurt. And if you can bring those people that need help up to the point that they don't need as much, yeah, that's a good expenditure of cash. In that sort of way, yeah, I am a socialist. I am far left. But I try not to talk about too much stuff because, hey, politics are, what is the word? Polarizing. But one of the things I wanted to mention is when you have authoritarianism, and fascism and all that, you are engaging in strong us versus them. And us is a group that only gets smaller. It's a very tiny group, and it only gets smaller because you keep shaving off people who become them. And you find out when you're shaved off and become them that, yeah, they didn't really care about you. Like on the conservative side in the U.S., there is a far-right goober called Matt Walsh who has been cozying up to all the TERFs and using them for his benefit. Now he doesn't need them anymore. They are all right under the bus, and they are horrified to find out that he's not a feminist. Yeah, no, he's not. But he used you, and now you don't matter. So you're under the wheels of the bus. He's driving over the top of you to go on to the next thing. Oh boy. Couldn't happen to nicer people. But on the other point, Ben Shapiro, if you've ever watched Ben Shabibo, he's a very annoying conservative type. He is now becoming outside. One of his big problems on his point is he's a Jewish fellow. And I say that's a problem because among conservatives, anti-Semitism is a big part of being a conservative. And Jewish people find out that you're only a part of us as long as you're useful. And Ben is now having the conservatives turn against him because he's just a psyop. He works for the liberals and the leftists. He's one of them. He's not us. Authoritarianism, the us group is small, and it only gets smaller. And more people become them. It all comes down to, I never thought the leopards would eat my face, says the person who voted for the leopards eating your face party. Yeah, they're gonna come for your face. Joy. And even though I was not able to change this because of my arm, and I've been waving my arm around like I just don't care, and let me tell you, I wish I haven't been, Tylenol does next to nothing. But I can't just take ibuprofen all the time because that's hard on your kidneys. But I can't even feel when I take Tylenol. But thank you, each and every one of my Patreon patrons. Without your help, I and my aging pet would be hosed like Christmas monkeys. And trust me, you do not want to be hosed like a Christmas monkey. That's the worst kind of way for a Christmas monkey to be hosed. I don't even know where I'm going with that anymore. But also, I would like to thank each and every person who has given money to my GoFundMe or has donated to my PayPal in the past. It is appreciated very, very much. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. And if I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. So, I just do my best. Let me call up my Chrome. I have it all brought up into 150% text so I can read it at this distance. I'm like 1.5 meters away from my monitor. I don't have any glasses that'll help me that way. We have, I am not sure how to pronounce your last name, so it's Jesus, Lozano. Thumbs up, thank you very, very much. We have Scott, greatly appreciated. And yeah, there was this, with videos being taken down, I'm quite sure it was just a YouTube bot that went nuts. So, great. Bunch of videos gone forever. Joy. Lumeria, thumbs up and thank you. Chris Ryan, greatly appreciated. Jay, I'm glad that you're back. I hope that you can watch for any length of time. I'm sorry horrific things are happening in your part of the world. Hokey smokes. But here's hoping to see you in the comments more. Yay! Thumbs up and thank you. There is Joker with a whole bunch of thumbs up who gave me some good advice on... I've always looked for mark and recall in the game Daggerfall and Morrowind and all that. Never been able to find the mark. Apparently you just cast recall and that puts an anchor. Ah! Thumbs up and thank you. And then we have My Three Sons, 1963. Thumbs up. I just have to laugh. That's the name of a way, way old TV show. My Three Sons, black and white, Fred McMurray. I used to watch it as a kid. Good God, I'm ancient. There's Jared TG. Thumbs up and thank you. Greatly appreciated. Adonis Rivera. Thumbs up and thank you. Good to see you as well. Midnight Marauder, OW. Thumbs up. We have Nikolaus. Thumbs up and thank you much. St. Vincent 9L. Greatly appreciated. There is I Love Cody. Thumbs up and thank you. Doing my very best. Fnord Athoth. Hopefully the Fnord part of that is from the Illuminati Fnord. After all, Fnord is just a thing that we have been conditioned to react to in a negative, anxiety-filled fashion when you see it in text or you hear it in movies and such. You don't hear the word or read the word. You just pick it up emotionally. You feel anxiety when you see and hear the word Fnord. Fnord. So we have FF7, thumbs up and thank you. Made in Canada. Good to see you in the comments as well. Dasarath? I'm nowhere close, but thank you very, very much. There is EYXK. Greatly appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. There is RJ Mitchell. Greatly appreciated. Stein Modin? Modine? STINEMODIN. Thumbs up, thank you. And Jesse Koskinen. Greatly appreciated. Each and every one of you. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. Thumbs up and thank you much. Yay. So I have phone calls that, at least one phone call that I'm going to make. 2 phone calls. I got to call up and apologize to my social worker and then call up the other VA person and don't be upset. I've hopefully gotten that all out of my system yesterday, so here's hoping. And I've got to continue just throwing junk out, and then, yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going to get boxes, but I got to do what I can. So thumbs up on that. So hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done. That would be very cool. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Minus that part, but here's hoping you can get those things done. Don't beat yourself up if you can't. It does not help. It's just, you're just beating yourself up. No good. No good. Yeah. I don't know why I can't speak English, aside from the fact that I'm just tired this morning. Up at 5:30 again. Yay. Still though, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. Now, of course, I have to turn this on. And I'm going to be taking a whole bunch of, not a whole bunch, only like 600 milligrams of ibuprofen, because, yeah, this Tylenol, just doesn't do a thing. Yay. Still, you take care and I'll see you.